Welcome to Downtime in the Apocalypse, a podcast where Ted talks and Kevin listens. I am Ted.
And I'm Kevin.
Now, in the apocalypse, it's important to remember that life can be difficult, and it's important to stock up, as Kevin and I learned this week when suddenly both of our means of transportation were destroyed by just simple wear and tear. Kevin's much more drastically than mine.
Yes, yes. Um, I find it very, very interesting that during this apocalypse, that let's say that some human being didn't like shoot our gas tank or pour like some sort of terrible liquid into it or siphon our gas, but no, just like the transmission and the engine just went, and yours is just also that and also tire related.
Yeah, I'm 95% sure that. Uh, okay, I should probably specify. I go through about four tires a year.
Okay, is that I don't know anything about tires, so is that like a lot or?
That's a lot. That should never happen. And I think most of the time it's because I live in a middle of nowhere's wilderness survivor enclave. And just to get to my place of work, the quickest way is by far this awful, awful road that has not been paved since I was born. Like, it was paved at one point. It's still technically paved, but some of these potholes are larger than most dogs.
Well, how about
So,
current dogs now? Because they're all mostly mutated.
yeah, well, I mean, that I have not got to measure, nor do I plan on it.
Okay, that's fair. That's very
Yeah.
fair.
So I think it's mostly taking that off the road, though at least once I'm pretty sure one of my students, did something to my tires.
Like slashed your tires?
Well, let me put it this way. There was one day where I went to work,
Yeah.
and he was kind of chilling near the cars, and the next day I had 4 flats.
Oh, okay. I that's not good, Ted. That's not good at all.
No, no, it's not.
That's okay. That sounds like a scene from a movie, by the way. Just like just like you as like a teacher or caretaker, whatever you want to call yourself. Just yeah, you're just having your normal day, and then oh, that kid, he's hanging out near my car, and now oh, okay, I got four flat tires.
Yeah, was not a great day, Kevin.
No, I can't imagine it was.
Tires are expensive, and more so now that, cars more or less have to be salvaged to get additional parts.
Yeah, I mean, my guy's pretty good at that. You know, salvaging is it's a risky venture, but if you're got enough gumption and you got enough heart and you got a big enough shotgun, I think it's a possible thing to go into.
Salvaging, the American dream. It's the one real profession where you can pick
Oh,
yourself up by your bootstraps.
Ted, by the way, I want you to correct yourself there. Not American Dream, the Dunkin' Donuts Dream. Thank you.
Ah, yes, it's the real Dunkin' Donuts dream. My apologies, still using the old bits of grammar. Um,
I
with
know.
grammar
We'll
stuff.
change that up.
Yeah, take that out in editing, Kevin. I don't want to disrupt the princess. I'm a loyal citizen of the empire.
Well, yeah, of course.
Um,
Now, one big thing too that I kind of want to talk about, especially considering we're talking about Dunkins, is what to drink during the apocalypse. So, Ted, what was your drink of choice for most of this week? You would say.
a vanilla bean colada. First time I've had it in years. It was great. Admittedly, it was a bit chilly for coladas, but whatever.
Yeah, you live in New England, so that's fine.
Yeah, New England, where it is almost a national pastime to go out for ice cream in the coldest weather possible.
Yeah, it's almost a rite of passage, really.
It is. I don't know why winter and ice cream go together for me.
Like, what's your favorite spot to go to for a winter ice cream treat?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Um, so unfortunately, the place I used to go to, I mean, it's not quite ice cream, but there were several frozen yogurt places,
Mm,
and most of them have now shut down for business. Not even for COVID, just because there was an oversaturation of frozen yogurt businesses.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know why everyone thought it was such a good idea to open the same business so quickly.
I mean, like, I don't know. It's people trying to get in on the times. I guess it was like super popular for like 2 years, really.
Yeah, I mean, In those 2 years, I did get it, like, twice a week.
Oh, that's a lot. Okay, yeah.
Well, it was sort of a family thing. Me and my mother would go out for a walk. She'd meet me on her lunch break when I was in college. We'd go out to a frozen yogurt place, get a couple, walk back. It's sort of what we did.
Right, right.
It wasn't bad. It was a good time. But those days are gone. I no longer have my frozen yogurts on frozen days.
No, you could have hot yogurt on, like, these burning temperature kind of days, but that's really up to you.
Kevin, did you just say have hot yogurt?
Yeah.
Now, outside of like very particular Indian dishes, I'm not aware of anyone who eats hot yogurt on purpose.
I mean, I think like I think that when you're, experiencing certain like weather changes that are very abrupt, then your frozen yogurt turns into hot yogurt real quick like.
I suppose, but I've still never referred to it as hot yogurt.
It does sound bad. It's sort of like that white gold comment you had to me before.
All right, Kevin, that wasn't on record, so now you have to explain that because you brought it up.
I don't really want to explain that, but I will. Okay. So one of the things that we constantly talk about, and that Ted also constantly talks about, to me off podcasting, off stream, or whatever you want to call us, is my army of French bulldogs that my ma owns.
Kevin and his family own a remarkably large amount of French bulldogs. I would call Kevin a French bulldog enthusiast.
I'm not an enthusiast. I'm like a, when the people smoke a cigarette next to you and you get secondhand smoke? Yeah, that's the same thing with French bulldogs with me. It's my ma owns French bulldogs, and she secondhand smoked me into also living with a lot of French bulldogs. That's the end of that. But one of the French bulldogs we have, Stu, got fixed, right? Then Ted comes on over. He sees like there's a cone on Stu's head, and he tells me like, Kevin, why are you doing that for? You could breed them. It's like you're throwing away white gold, which was the most like terrible and disgusting thing Ted has ever said to me to this date.
All right, while that was an awful comment, I kind of stand by it.
I know you do. That's also why I love you. So
Yeah.
that's
Okay. Look, Kevin. Look, this is like the one time in human history where basically the dog shelters are empty. Like COVID, with all the time off, people working home, people finally realized, oh wait, I have the time to properly take care of a dog and get them adjusted and everything. It's very hard to adopt a dog right now in some places. This is the one time where it's like, yeah, if you're gonna breed dogs, go for it.
I know, but as a person who has not had to take care of puppies, I would say that's a lot easier said than done.
Yes, Kevin. But how much did you say one of those French bulldogs go for?
I have nothing to do with that, but it's like if you look it up online, I'm sure you can see the answer. It's like it's in thousands, but
Yeah, thousands. Oh my god.
yeah, but at the same time too, it costs a lot to take care of them, and also costs a lot to do the surgery and everything for the dog. French bulldogs are not meant to have puppies, really, because it's like a lot of them die.
I mean, let's be honest, Kevin. Normally, I'd be against this, but at the same time, we're in the apocalypse. You have to get a nest egg or some sort of savings where you can, man.
That's a fair enough statement, Ted, and I'll agree with you
Like,
on that. You know what? Fine.
yeah, like normally I would be like, oh come on, you can just get mutts, or yeah, if you're gonna breed them with something with I don't know functional organs or something, a hybrid bigger thing going on. But right now, it's like, yeah, but you might need those like extra $1,000 to like afford food when suddenly businesses collapse again or something.
Yeah, or the Walmart gets aggressive.
Yeah. Oh God. If the rations for Dunkin' Donuts have to be enforced again,
Oh god, that was bad times when the rations were when the you only get like a munchkin a day. That was a bad time, Ted.
it was a very very bad time, Kevin.
What's your I mean, okay. I think like the worst munchkin is probably plain.
Oh, hard agree. Hard agree.
Yeah. What's the second worst? I would say jelly.
Yeah, bro. I feel like Munchkin order is pretty much universally agreed upon.
Right. Like plain is the worst, jelly second, and then it kind of goes your preference there if you like glazed chocolate or you like glazed regular.
Yeah, well, I feel like those two are by far the worst, and then the rest is whatever.
Okay, like you take it or leave it.
Yeah, I mean, not even that. It's just as long as I don't get those two, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Really, as long as I don't get a plain, I'm at least okay.
What's your opinion on powdered? Like
Okay,
white powdered?
okay with powder. Powders are pretty good.
You need something with it though. It's like wicked dry.
Hmm. Yeah, agreed. But I mean, if I'm going to Dunkin's, I have a coffee.
That's true. You're right. Okay. To get back onto topic, for me, I love something that Ted hates a lot, and that is whiskey. So one of the things I've had.
I don't get whiskey. I really don't.
What do you mean? Just like the flavor profile, the taste, the everything?
No, the flavor profile. I don't know. I don't like the aftertaste. I don't really like the before taste. Honestly, it just seems like extra additions to vodka.
I I don't. I can't drink vodka straight. Is my thing. I could drink like whiskey straight all day.
Hmm.
I feel like vodka is not is I don't know. Whiskey is superior to me just because I can like just drink it with ice and then I'll be really happy.
Huh, that's interesting, Kevin.
Oh, going for that low carb, my man.
I never think of whiskey as a low carb like Atkins diet cocktail, not cocktail spirit.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have like anything in it. Doesn't have any sugar. It doesn't have like anything really. It's just alcohol.
Kevin, just go for a moonshine. Go big or go home.
Well, that's a separate topic we can talk about next time. You and your moonshine. Anyway, one of the big ones that I like quite a bit is called Jefferson's Ocean Aged at Sea. So this one here, I have it a lot. You know OBT, right?
Yes, of course. It's hard not to go to college with Worcester.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but they have all the Jeffersons there. I can't find it like anywhere else. I haven't looked a lot, but I can't find it anywhere else. But yeah, that is one of my favorites. It's something they like actually personally take like a bunch of bourbon whiskey barrels and then just like take them out to sea, and then they go around with them on like a giant boat, and then it's aged and tastes like it tastes awesome.
All right, look, that sounds like a weird gimmick, but I know enough about how carefully people treat whiskey barrels to know that's got to do something.
Yeah, that's gotta do. Yeah, yeah. It's not all. It's not. Like what's like the biggest gimmick that you can think of for like food or drinks or anything like that? That's like stupid.
Oh, I mean, there are burgers that have gold leaf on them.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty bad. Like the gold leaf doesn't even taste like anything, right?
I don't know. I never had gold leaf.
If you could have gold leaf, would you just like have it just for the experience of saying I could poop gold?
Probably.
Okay, that's all. That's all I wanted to know, Ted. That's fine.
Yeah, I'd probably try gold leaf, assuming it was in some. I guess I have because they put in what gold slug or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think they put that in Goldschlager.
Yeah, so I guess I've had it. In which case, I'm not a fan.
Oh, not a fan. Are you just not a fan of Goldschlager?
No, it wasn't the taste of it. I don't even really remember the taste. The flakes in it really bugged me though.
I mean,
Like
okay.
drinking backwash.
That sounds. I've never had that, so I don't know. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's a texture thing more than anything.
Okay, that's fair. Oh, did you try that coffee liqueur? Not coffee liqueur, but coffee vodka.
Yeah. So Kevin actually, so it was my birthday recently, and Kevin got me a bottle of Vincent Van Gogh Double Espresso vodka.
I do
Uh,
like how that kind of rhymes.
all right. So, anyways, Kevin, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I've had it. I've tried it. I've drank about half the bottle. Hey, it's been like 2 weeks. Um,
I know, but that's just kind of funny to me.
However, Kevin, this is not the first time I've had this.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So at one point, I went to a liquor store, and there was a tasting salesman thing going on there.
Mm,
They had like a row of people, and there was one man who was dressed in like a vest and had a handlebar mustache and sort of a top hat thing,
okay.
and he was absolutely hilarious. And he had me try it with different drinks, not different drinks, different ingredients to make different cocktails and everything.
Hmm.
And I was sold, and I bought a literal gallon. I actually have a the Art of Vodka paint can thing made by the company, which is currently holding all of my reusable straws.
Oh, nice. Okay. See, I didn't know you'd ever had that before. I just saw it at like a store and was like, Ted probably like this.
Oh no, you picked one of my favorites. You were dead on. This is you. I do like it.
Nice. Okay, that's awesome. So
All right, tell me about the downtime you've had recently. What have you done to keep sane in these dark times?
yes, these dark, dark, dismal times. So to keep myself happy, I finished Lisa the Painful.
Okay, Kevin. Now, I know a good therapist pretty near you, actually. So, it's like 15 minutes from you. It wouldn't be bad.
I might need that actually because after I completed that game, I haven't felt that sad in a while. Just so we've been talking about this for like a couple episodes, but Lisa the Painful is a game about a guy named Brad in the apocalypse, and then him trying to find his daughter figure. Buddy is her name, and she's like the last female left alive in this whole society of men. So it's it's gonna be interesting when the whole world finds out there's like one girl left, and yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
yeah. They imply that a lot. It you stopped playing at like a certain point. Where did you stop playing? Like what part?
Honestly, Kevin, it was fairly early on. I don't really remember. I remember there was like dark cave and a bunch of eyes and crap. I don't really remember much.
Okay,
I think I've tried to shut out most of that game from my mind, and I don't really blame my mind.
yeah. I mean, I don't blame you. That game, it okay. It goes through this whole experience of you being like Brad and you getting like a gang of people together. Everyone in the game insults you in some way, which I kind of love. One of those things being that you basically have this like one spot in the game where I talked about this last time. You climb up a rope for like it feels like 5 minutes, and then there's a giant middle finger at the top of the cliff, and there's nothing else there, and you can't get back down any other faster way. So you have to climb down slowly for another 5 minutes. It's like that's the tone of the game, and yeah, there's I really recommend this game to everybody, and if you can play through that and get to the ending, then you'll have a different experience with a game that I don't think you'll ever have had before. The ending is just so depressing that I kind of love it.
All right, but if I recall, there's two parts of the game. So that was the painful, right?
Yep, and then there's Lisa the Joyful, which I have not played yet. But if I were to just recommend one thing right now, play the Painful. It's really, really good.
All right, fair. Uh, yeah, I do not plan on it.
Yeah, that's fair. There's also there's a lot of like good dark humor stuff in it too. There's this one part where you kind of give a bunch of people like some dynamite, right? They just like ask you, and then you just give that to them because you can choose whether or not to do that. Later on, you go back to like another place, and like the whole village is destroyed. They like killed everybody with the dynamite, thanks to you.
Kevin, you said dark humor. Where's the laugh line here?
The laugh line is that it the laugh line is that you go there and then you look around for everybody and no one's there, and then you just go up to like one guy and then he says, "Yeah, they killed everybody," and that's it. That you don't find those guys again, and then it's just sort of humor is like subjective, of course, but one of the big things about humor is like something unexpected happening and then kind of making you react in a certain way. I didn't expect that to happen, so it just made me laugh because of how ridiculous and then out of left field it was.
So I feel like that isn't the ha ha laughing humor used to, but sort of the I have had a near mental breakdown and I am laughing as a sort of coping mechanism.
I'd say that's more accurate. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Just want to make sure. Like I've had those moments of just like really awful days and then like I'm just sitting there finally resting and I start laughing hysterically.
Yeah, I mean it. That's a lot of Lisa in general. I'd say
Fair.
if you want to feel that, then play that game.
Hmm. All right. I mean, are you familiar with the term catharsis?
Yes, yes, I am.
Right. You know, it came from the Greeks. It basically is the idea that we don't have enough emotional experience in our day to day. We
Mm,
need to
okay.
experience highs and lows and everything. It's kind of their justification on why any person would want to see a tragedy.
Yeah. Okay. That.
So I
Yeah.
feel like that's a cathartic release, if anything.
That's a good way to say it, Ted. Thank you. Yeah, but that was most of my week. Other than that, playing Baldur's Gate, which is really fun, and playing some other video games on Steam to numb myself to the tragedies of the outside world. How are you doing, Ted?
Kevin, not great, honestly. Well, no, my week has been a lot more boring, I suppose. I have not been playing that many games. I have not been reading as many books. Occasionally, I just get these awful tension headaches,
Mm.
and it's caused by my muscles in the back of my neck just kind of constricting or contracting, whatever it is.
Kinda like
and
seizing up, I guess.
yeah, but the weird thing is because of how muscles work, it goes like around to my forehead. Like, I did not realize how many muscles you have in your head until like I went to a doctor about this.
Yeah, that okay. Yeah, I'm also surprised by that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you can kind of figure it out. I mean, just put your hand near your temple and just open and close your mouth. You can feel your jaw muscles moving.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
Listeners, I'll try that really quick. Can you imagine just like everyone just like in a like let's say they're listening to this in like a bus or something, right? And then you just see a bunch of people with their hands on their temples just like opening their mouth up and down to feel like their jaws.
all right, Kevin, I have an idea for this weekend. Let's organize that.
Oh my god, that'd be great.
Just go to a bus. Everyone just puts their hands to their temples and opens and closes their mouth in unison, if possible.
Someone would think it's like an alien invasion happening and then it's just something's going to come out of someone's mouth.
Yeah, it's gotta be just go with your public transportation system. So honestly, that might just be Tuesday for them.
That's you know what? That's fair. It
I mean, so a friend of mine used to live in Worcester and went to Worcester State,
Mm.
and he would take the bus in. He didn't have a car, and it was a very long walk. And honestly, he stopped taking the bus in because it took 2 or 3 times longer than it would to walk.
Oh god,
It was routinely an hour and a half late. Not always, though. Not always.
just
But he,
routinely.
yeah, so he couldn't plan on it.
Man, that is the worst.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
So I'm sorry I interrupted you there, but so a lot of tension, headaches, right?
Yes, so I have like this massager thing that goes around my neck and sort of has like three prongs on each side that kind of rubs those muscles. So
Mm.
basically, I've been sitting in a chair with that on my back neck area,
Right.
listening to that lo-fi stream that's a meme now for hours on end.
That's the one with the cat, right?
The cat, the girl, she's taking notes. Honestly, I found this like I want to say like 10 days after it came out.
Yeah.
Um, it was just a YouTube recommendation, and I've probably listened to it 3 times a week since then.
Oh, okay. Right.
It's when I'm at work on Saturday mornings, it tends to be what I play, as I'm, like, making sure all the kids get their medicine and all that.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to wake up. If you need some positive in your life, just looking at the, chat is always nice. It's one of those very few things where it's like, let's see, let me just read it to you. Go guys, do your studying. Um Hey, thanks to all the mods out there. Live long and prosper. Hello from Germany.
Right. That kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Nice.
good luck to everyone taking a law exam this week. Yeah, oof, good luck, people.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's tough. God.
Studying philosophy here. My mind is going crazy. I understand.
I
But
yeah. I haven't listened to the lo-fi stream, but maybe I'll give it a try. Why not?
it's not bad, and especially when you have sort of a headache. So it's just me sitting in my chair, just trying to not have a headache.
Mm.
And it helps. It's nice. Plus, the music changes every few months. It's a very long list of music that gets on a loop. I don't know why, but some for some reason I am like almost memorized by the cat.
Is this cat just like flicks its tail? Like what is it? What does it do?
Yeah, it just flicks its tail. It's just
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I honestly have a problem with this particular stream is it's just the same thing on loop with different music.
Yeah.
Um, the girl that's studying, She uses she uses, like, half not even half, like, a quarter of a page and then churns it.
Oh my god.
Kevin, why do you find this so funny?
I find that like uh I mean she's just wasting paper to be honest and that's not cool. So, yeah, Ted, I totally agree.
Yeah, actually, I'm counting how many lines she does. Okay, the first paragraph has 4 lines.
Yeah.
The second has 2, and then she changes it. She writes 6 lines.
Maybe she's just like writing very short poems.
I suppose.
I mean, would that be or like haikus or something?
I mean, that's not how haikus work, Kevin, you know it.
I know.
But
But
yeah,
I'm
if they're
hoping.
short poems or some sort of strange, very short micro sonnet, I'd be okay with that.
I mean, Ted, that just seems like such a specific problem.
Look, Kevin, what he's
Okay, you don't need to justify yourself. I'm just saying. Writing too short of it doesn't make sense.
It bugs me. It feels like such a waste of paper.
I know, and I'm so happy that this bothers you.
I'm glad my you know what, Kevin? I was about to say, like, make a very sarcastic remark about I'm glad my suffering amuses you, but you made me watch Suburban Sasquatch this week.
Yeah, that's true. I did make you watch that by Mr. Dave Waskovich.
Yeah. Now, Kevin, I've watched this movie again. I After watching the Adams Family movie, I went, all right, look, I need to really sit back and take my
Yeah,
time with these movies and
yeah.
yeah, and I tried. I really did. And honestly, I do not think I can make a proper scene by scene summary of Suburban Sasquatch that makes any sense or is at all interesting to listen to.
I think I could give it a try.
I don't want you to. I do not want to hear you recap every single random killing in this movie.
No, but we'll do like a little highlight reel. Which, first off, let's tell everybody. Ted has never seen Suburban Sasquatch. It's a film, and I use that term very loosely. It's a film by a Mr. David Waskovich, that Wascally Waskovich, and it's a film I found out about through the interwebs, as they say. I found like this one site did like this little parody review on it, and I thought like, oh, that looks kind of funny and stupid. I want to see it too. And then I watched it, and then we have like a podcast thing going on, and it's also October, so spooky. And would you say Suburban Sasquatch is in the horror realm?
No.
Was is it more in the comedy realm?
No.
Is it more in the it's kind of a movie realm?
Yes.
Okay, so that's something you watch around Halloween, kind of movies. So yeah, we watched the Suburban Sasquatch, and I think it's a great film that has a lot of promise to it. And I'm going to say this right off the bat: I deeply recommend this movie.
I don't.
Okay, so let's go into this movie a little bit and talk about it and why you hate it and I love it.
Yeah, Kevin, give me 1 second. I am hearing strange noises from my bathroom.
Oh, that's the Sasquatch.
Oh, 1 second. Let me actually check my bathroom.
Okay,
Kevin, I'm not sure. I'm gonna keep talking in case something's happening.
okay. All right. Ted went to the bathroom. I'm sure it's nothing, but it could be the suburban Sasquatch ready to pounce on him for living in a suburb. Well, he doesn't really live in a suburb, but still, he lives in a home, and Sasquatches hate houses, as we all know. Yeah, I hope Ted is going to be still alive for this podcast. I like him as a person, and also just in general. Nice to talk to him, and I hope he doesn't get eaten at this point in time.
Kevin, I caught the end of that. And oh, thanks. All right, Kevin, three guesses on what that was.
Okay, I know you live with a rabbit. Is it the rabbit?
Yes, but what was he doing?
Was he agitated and stomping his foot in an angry manner?
Okay, yes, but do you know why?
No.
I'm
uh,
stuck. So, he just kind of goes around most of the time. He's just kind of jumping, exploring right now, just seeing. Um, he's like growing quite rapidly, so everything changes like size for him on a daily basis. So it's kind of interesting.
yeah, yeah.
But he just got brave enough to try to get into my bathtub and did not like it.
Could he not get back out of the bathtub?
Okay, there's no way he couldn't. I mean, he can clear 4 or 5 feet pretty easily, and my bathtub is not that large. It's a large tub,
Right,
but it's not that big. I just think he was confused, and it's more slippery than he's used to and wetter.
right. So he just doesn't like the air. He just doesn't like the bathtub. Okay, I
Yeah, I
see.
think he was kind of like freaking out by it. Okay. So just an example, he just leaped over my couch.
Oh.
Like, there's no way he could not. Like, that was the biggest jump. He landed on another part of the couch, so it didn't make a big thud, but he could clear quite a bit of space.
Right. He's a rabbit.
He's a rabbit. Not only that, he's a giant rabbit.
Yeah. What's its name again? By the way.
Ryder.
Okay, Ryder. Gotcha.
Now, if I'm being really pedantic, his real name is Rater, but I
That's only if
no,
you're being pedantic, though, Ted, which would never happen.
no, absolutely not. That's my awful attempt at pronouncing the Dutch word. A
Okay.
Belgian friend of mine actually requested me never to speak Dutch again because, and I quote, "It's an affront to his language." Um, I'm very bad at Dutch. but it means knight in Dutch. He is my good cavalry boy.
Aw, that's nice.
Okay, but less about my adorable cavalry boy, more about this awful movie.
Oh, what movie are you talking about?
Suburban Sasquatch, Kevin.
Oh, that great movie. Okay. So this movie is what me and Ted would call low budget.
So I did a little bit of research, and the estimated budget was $12,000, which seems remarkably high.
I mean, did you see that suit?
All right, look. So there's really three reasons this movie is an awful movie.
Okay. I'll counter with three reasons why this is a great movie, but please tell me.
Number one
Hmm.
is the Sasquatch suit. The Sasquatch in question here, the villain or possible avenging spirit of nature of the story,
Yeah, the Sasquatch.
is a gorilla suit.
Well, I mean, they do bring up gorillas in the movie, by the way, and how they could be technically mystical creatures.
Yes, yes, I remember, I remember. But it's a gorilla suit. The only thing really notable about it is it has very pronounced mammary glands.
Now, when you say pronounce, like these things are huge.
Yeah, like this thing's probably female, and if it's like any normal creature, which given it's a mystical creature,
Yeah.
I don't know if it is, it's probably given birth before.
That's a terrifying image.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's the main thing. And this Sasquatch, besides having super strength, the ability to teleport,
Yeah.
the ability to psychically attack people, that's why you need to max your ME stat, people.
Ah, yes.
The most interesting thing about it is its battle cry, its growl, which is just and you'll hear that for about 30 minutes during this movie.
Yeah, that's most of the I so Mr. Dave Waskovich does all the sound design in this film, and what he just did was go up to like a microphone and or one of those really cheap like recorders and just went like yeah. So most of the time in movies, and I'm gonna say like movies, they mix like a sound together to make like an animal growl. So they just like take like the pitch of like a lion's roar and just like take it down or something like that, right? Most of the
Yeah,
time,
it's
yeah,
natural and at the same time different.
yeah. Most of the time, you don't just like hear a dude go into like a I don't know. I'm gonna even hesitate to say a recording studio and just like make a sound like a human being and then try to not change anything about it and then try to play it off as a monster sound.
Yeah, it's impressively bad.
Yeah, and
All
this
right,
dude's like
now,
old.
yeah,
He's not like a kid.
all right. So the next thing that makes this movie awful and or if you're Kevin great is the absolutely terrifying special effect.
Well, you say terrifying, but what do you mean by that, Ted?
I mean, it has been burned into my brain, sort of terrifying. All right, look. So the CGI in this movie is painfully bad, even for 2004 when it first came out.
Mm.
Um, regularly, like at one point, he picks up a car. I believe it's not even the same car when he picks it up, or in any way,
Oh, by the way, do you know who did all the special effects in the movie?
Mr. Watzkowitz.
Yeah, Mr. Waskovich. That's very correct. Please continue.
Yeah. There's fire at few points, and it's just sort of red mistish stuff.
Yep.
To try to make it look like night, they put a blue filter over things.
Yep.
Which honestly, Kevin, at the first until you told me that later on, I did not realize that the first scene in the movie was supposed to be at night.
Oh, you couldn't tell?
Honestly, Kevin, at the beginning, I went, "Oh, this is a really low budget film, really bad camera."
Oh, no, no, no. That was intentional.
Yeah, yes, yes, of course, the master of the master Watchkovitz.
Yeah. Well, I would say the Spielberg of Sasquatch films.
Sure. All right. Now, my particular favorite part is at one point, Sasquatch is just dragging away a person, and there is
Yeah.
a CGI like green block next to it that keeps moving with it.
Oh, yeah.
And I cannot figure out why he went through the effort of putting this block on. There's at one point where just the legs of the Sasquatch are CGI and like the torso is moving.
Yeah.
It's very strange. there's a crow spirit which flies around, supposed to be a character, sort of spirit guardian,
Yeah,
and it's painful to look at. Also, it's very clearly supposed to be like a falcon or hawk or something. Like
or
it
even
has
like
more
an
color.
eagle.
Yeah, it has more coloration the first time you see it. Now,
Yeah,
honestly, saying it's a specific type of bird, it doesn't have that amount of detail to actually make a claim on what this thing was supposed to be.
yeah,
It's definitely not a crow. Like from the above, it has a lot more color.
right. It looks sort of like a plug-in or something, like just something you take from, I don't know, just like animation or something like that, and you can just like put into the movie. But he personally made that.
That's almost more impressive.
It is in a way, and yeah, it doesn't look like a crow. The best way I could tell it was a crow is that the subtitle said crow.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and we watched this with subtitles on because the audio quality is not great.
Yeah, also the subtitle quality is not great.
Oh yeah, they misspell a bunch of things.
They misspell several words. There's a few times where the subtitles and the spoken words just say different things.
Yeah,
Like, not terrible. Like, I can see where they came from,
right.
but still, that subtle mispronunciations, like, that makes it not a sentence.
Yep, no, I agree. So first thing, the Sasquatch suit. Second thing, the CGI. What is your third complaint?
The writing.
Now, what do you mean by the writing? Because I thought like pretty solid.
All right.
I mean, it's like it's man versus nature. You know, a basic story.
Okay, how about this? The dialogue writing.
Oh yeah, that sucks. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, all right. So, people, I don't think I can properly explain how terrible this movie is. In this way. However, not audio, the dialogue seems like it was written by a particularly untalented child. For example, the main character is some sort of reporter.
Yeah,
He routinely goes to his boss and gets chewed out, and I cannot figure out why.
I okay.
Like,
So
he goes there and
yeah,
the boss is complaining about him not having a story or something when he's talking about how he's working on a story on potential murders in the town. I'm like, this makes no sense under any circumstance.
well, what's weird too is that he keeps on coming back to this guy, and he never writes the story because he has nothing to give to him.
No, he has a meeting with another friend of his where he gets chewed out for not doing anything with his life when he's clearly working on something. I'm like, I don't understand any of this.
I mean, I okay. So I don't. All right. He goes to this guy who's like his editor or whatever you want to say it is. He's like an investigative journalist, and he goes to what is basically a school because you can see like the kids outside practicing like football. It's supposed to be like the the news station or whatever, and he goes in there. He just immediately says like, "Okay, I need a chance. You got to give me a chance to like, really write this story. I got something big." And he said, and this guy keeps on saying like, "Yeah, have you written the story?" And the guy goes like, "Yeah, no, but I need a chance." And the other guy goes, "Well, have you written the story?" And the guy goes like, "No, I need a chance." And the guy goes like, "You're a schmuck who doesn't know how to write stories good." And then that goes on for like another 5 minutes basically of the
This
same
happens two
dialogue.
or three times.
Yeah. This happens like 2 or 3 times and nothing progresses from it.
All right, so Kevin, if I may, I believe we're getting ahead of ourselves. There's
Yeah.
really, I want to say, four subplots to this movie. So the
Yeah.
first one is the reporter. Now, the reporter is the main character whose name I don't know, and honestly, I'm not sure is even said in the movie.
I think it's like John.
Okay, we'll go with John.
Yeah.
So John here is in a small town that has some recent developments, a highway, a bunch of new houses going up.
A suburb?
A suburb, yes, a suburb where
A
the
s
Sasquatch live in. A
Yep,
suburban Sasquatch.
a suburban
Um,
Sasquatch.
and he is trying to make it as a reporter. He doesn't want to stay in the suburbs forever. He wants to get a break, move up, go to New York or Chicago or something, and
Or
be a big time
Washington, whatever.
reporter.
Yeah.
And he is apparently failing pretty bad because everyone he talks to about his work says he's doing a bad job, and the only person that is supporting him is his grandmother.
Who was a very
Um,
sweet, nice lady.
Yes, and in his defense, like one of the first things he says when he visits his grandma is, "Why don't you move in with me closer to town? Will make everything easier." So clearly, like he is a good guy, at least to some extent.
Yeah, to his, like, yeah, family at least, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how you treat your grandma is how I judge you as a person. Um,
Okay, that's fair.
anyways, so that's subplot one, and he is getting tips from the police or one particular police officer. Murders.
We don't really know why. It's just like, well, he did something for me back in the day, so I just tip him off every time there's a murder.
I mean, not bad. I mean, it should be covered.
I guess, but I feel like you should establish a relationship if that's going to be like your main dude who keeps on telling you about these like murders every day.
That's true. So he's falling around murders
Yeah.
by the Sasquatch. Sasquatch plot two.
Yeah.
Now, the Sasquatch, if I'm being very generous to this movie, is some sort of avenging spirit of nature.
Okay. Yeah.
He's possibly having been corrupted by the suburbs being put up, or possibly just enraged. Either way, he is wreaking havoc on the people of this area, seemingly at random. There isn't really a given reason on why he goes after certain people over others. Even the one person that knows a little bit about them doesn't fully understand its motivation.
Oh, are you talking about the audience?
No, what was her name? Kala?
Oh yes, the Native American woman. Yes.
Yeah. We'll get to her in a moment. And it just goes on, and it's about 15 just scenes of horrible murders. And I mean horrible in about every sense I can make it. For example, Kevin, let's say you and I go fishing. Or audience, imagine you and a friend of yours go fishing. Just
Yep.
having a good time,
Yep.
a couple brews, relaxing.
Hmm.
And about 30 feet away from you, a giant gorilla like creature starts ripping apart your friend. What would your reaction be, Kevin?
Well, I would A, try to stop the gorilla creature in some way, or B, like I would run away almost immediately.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame you for either. Now, would you stay there shouting, "Hey, Ted! Hey, Ted!" for about 4 minutes?
No, I feel like that is a unrealistic thing to do.
Yeah, that happens in this movie.
Okay. I mean, it's funny how it happens too, because the Sasquatch is I would say kind of like a barbarian in a certain way, just because the method it attacks with is just okay. I'm going to rip out your heart or some sort of organ and then make you eat it, and then also I'm going to rip off your arm, drink the arm blood, and then throw the other arm at another dude and make him like collapse into the water.
Yeah, I think a few people have their limbs torn off and then are beaten to death with those limbs.
Yeah, it's a little excessive.
A little bit.
A little bit. But, he is a Sasquatch, so I understand that, sometimes that rage takes over and then you have to just horribly beat people with, their own limbs.
Sure, Kevin. Sure.
Now yeah.
So plot three. Tella is a Native American woman, and she is apparently on her first hunting mission. She's one of the hunters of the tribe, and it's her job to take down beings like the Sasquatch.
Yeah.
She's given a lesson from her grandfather in a fairly early scene. Which, by the way, the lesson on that is just hardcore zoom ins on his lips over again.
Yeah, it's really odd, the cinematography of this film.
Yeah, and he explains how she needs to do this, and she seems to be given very particular equipment and knowledge for this. Has a few healing herbs that really help out.
Mhm.
She has some bird allies around, including one spirit guardian,
Yeah.
not crow, that's around.
Yeah.
She also has a bought from a Halloween store longbow
Yeah.
and a bunch of arrows with crystals in them, and they seem to be the things that really hit the Sasquatch hard. Also, she has tomahawks, which I cannot figure out where she puts on her outfit because she is not wearing much.
That almost seems intentional in a way.
No, I cannot stress this. Going through the woods wearing a completely white outfit. She's hunting things where her shorts go down halfway through her calves. I'm like, yes, yes, haha, pretty girl. Put her in a very little clothing, but like, man, have you walked through the woods?
That's
She's gonna get a bunch of scratches.
yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, and I think she's wearing Uggs.
Uh, I don't even know. It was not practical footwear.
Like, I think she's wearing, like, Tom Brady Uggs. Like, I
Oh
don't
god. Those was made in 2004. Was I don't is that even a thing then?
I think that was a thing. I think, like, it was, like, early 2000s, everyone was wearing, like, Uggs or, like, those
Eh,
type of shoes.
I'll take your word on it, Kevin.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fashion guy. But, one big thing I do love about, Tala is her ability to shoot CGI, arrows.
Yeah.
Those CGI arrows are just so beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. So I've done a little bit of research on her, and at one point when she's talking to our reporter friend,
Yeah.
about the Sasquatch. She calls it a bakwa.
Okay.
So I did some digging on what that means.
Yeah.
So a bakwa is a spirit in the Pacific Northwest at the absolute lowest, but really in British Columbia and that sort of area of Canada.
Right.
And it's known to the Hawakawakwa people,
Okay.
and they're ghosts.
Oh.
A and they go and hunt for certain, like, shells to make food to try to lure people over to the spirit world.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a Sasquatch, Ted.
No.
But
However, if I'm being very generous to this movie, the fact that she is part of the Waka Waka people does make sense because, she was talking about at one point how not many women take the path of a hunter and many people spoke against it.
yeah.
Um, that particular group of people, positions of the tribe are very much inherited.
Right.
It's not the whole we live with nature sort of everyone, to each according to their own, blah 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 blah. No, no, it's very much almost like feudal and like no, you inherit this position, that's what you do. It's mostly male primogeniture, but under certain circumstances, women can get these positions. So the fact that she got it, but there was some pushback actually fits perfectly.
Okay.
Now there
So the
in the credits there was a
yeah.
Native American language advisor, and I'm pretty sure that's the only thing he did.
yeah. He was a professor too, so it has to be legit, right?
All right, pick a spirit from this area. Okay, thanks. What group is that? Okay, thanks. We'll never mention it in the movie because it's hard to say.
and our actors can't say it.
I mean, I'm probably saying it wrong. I mean, I looked up pronunciation guides and everything.
I mean, yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair enough, I guess.
I'm
Yeah.
not claiming to be an expert. I'm not the Native American language advisor on this movie.
But if you were Ted, if you were,
I would resign.
okay.
So, anyways, she's out on the hunting mission. Now, she eventually meets and falls in love with our reporter friend John, who have many, many arguments about religion in the meantimes, which I thought was completely out of place.
Well, okay. So John is, I guess, an atheist, I suppose.
Atheist, agnostic, a non.
Yeah, and his grandmother believes in, I would probably say Christian. I don't know exactly,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
but
definitely Christian. Just the way
yeah,
she says it.
yeah. And Tala, our Native American guide, is also just believes in like nature and then God or some sort of like divine being, kind of setting a path for you, like destiny, but also not.
Yeah. This movie back and forth, line to line, cannot decide whether or not it believes that there is a defined and predestined path for people, or if the future is yours to do with as you wish.
It doesn't seem like it can settle on something because it keeps on flip flopping every 5 seconds.
Yeah, and I do like every other sentence. It goes back and forth from like, well, why do you believe this is your path? You have control to, immediately to. We are all set on paths we must walk on.
Yeah, and I God, this is so weird. I mean, there is a divine intervention in this film. Because if you look at like even like the spirit guardian, I guess would be like a divine, guide for Tala, but also
Evan, I mean, they're using magical arrows against the teleporting Sasquatch. I'm not going to deny that there's something a bit divine about this.
yeah, I mean, there's also that there's like a stick that falls on top of like the medicine that he uses to save her later. I mean, yeah, there's like divine. It brings up that a lot.
Yeah. All right. And now the fourth plot
Yep.
is the town sheriff.
Yep.
Now, the town sheriff at first seems to be somewhat corrupt or something. He is somehow, for some reason, covering up all of these murders.
That the Sasquatch is just killing all of these people.
Now, the reason for this turns out, the reason for this is that at one point in the past, his
And,
wife was murdered by this Sasquatch on the other side of the country.
yeah, like they're in Pennsylvania, I believe was the
Yeah,
place.
they say Pennsylvania,
Yeah,
but they also say northeastern United States, and I will argue that Pennsylvania is not part of the northeastern United States.
I will also agree with that. But
Pretty sure most Pennsylvanians would agree with me on that one. Actually, I just don't think that's. That's not where it is geographically.
Yeah, I don't know. This film does not care about that. But
All right,
continue. Sorry.
Kevin. Wait, was I talking or you talking?
You're talking.
Oh, about the thing. This is the absolutely thrilling conversation you tuned into. Um, me forgetting where I was mid sentence.
So you're talking about the sheriff, and then he was from like
Yeah,
Oregon or something like way out
yeah,
west.
and his wife was murdered, and they have a flashback, and somehow, for some reason, he is determined that it's his job to hunt down this Sasquatch since its return. Now we don't know why it seemed to have followed him to this particular development. There's no reason ever given.
It might just be coincidence for all we know
It might just be coincidence. I
that he
don't know.
moved, that he moved all the way to like Pennsylvania, and then somehow like these murders have started up again.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's too much fate there, Kevin. I feel like it's the path he has been chosen to walk is the path of having his loved ones murdered by Sasquatch.
Yeah,
The Great Spirit sometimes just gives people shit back.
or like gives them paths that they cannot complete and do not complete at the end of the film because he tries to like keep on killing the Sasquatch and stopping it, and he is ineffective because he does not have the means at all to affect this creature whatsoever, and everything he does is just I don't know pointless.
Yeah, okay. So honestly, you cut him out of the movie, and very little be different, other than we wouldn't understand why the reporter is having trouble finding information about these murders when it should be relatively easy.
Yeah, or why the whole town doesn't just like try to stop it.
Yeah, that's it. That's I guess his purpose, but he's constantly trying to find the Sasquatch and do the only thing he can think of, shoot it.
I
Now,
I mean, yeah,
the Sasquatch is killed by a special magic bow, but I'm just saying whenever he does shoot it, it does bleed. It seems to be doing something.
I guess, but at the same time too, like you had four or five like hillbillies all shoot at the Sasquatch, like Zeke and his gang, right?
Okay. Yeah, this is another thing. The sheriff is absolutely adamant about he and only he needs to be the one to hunt down the Sasquatch until his partner suggests literally anything else.
Yeah, his partner Steve.
His partner Steve, the one that's leaking the reporter John information, at one point when he finds out about this, just says, "Oh, let's have Zeke and the boys handle it." And this hunting party just goes out, finds the Sasquatch immediately, and starts shooting at it, and they all die horribly.
I mean, yeah, like one guy gets his like head ripped off. Another guy just is like crushed beneath a big Sasquatch foot. Like, there's tons of like, oh yeah, and they all. This is the my favorite scene, where they all have ranged weapons and they run towards the Sasquatch, and then the Sasquatch like slowly bats them away with his giant Sasquatch paws, and just kills them, just like bah, 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 just knocking them over.
Yeah, this is a common theme of the movie. Even Tala, with her nice longbow, seems to be want to be within 10 feet of the Sasquatch at all times.
Well, she misses like all the time.
She misses like 2 or 3 times, but it's a moving target, and that's a pretty shit bow.
Well, yeah, I guess like, and it's not like the Sasquatch like runs at them, but they also run towards the Sasquatch. It's not like they just like kind of sit back, try to like shoot at it, and then try to keep and maintain distance. It's not not very well choreographed fighting.
Do you think this fighting scene was choreographed, Kevin?
I think Mr. Waskovich did some choreographing at least.
Kevin, you give this movie way more credit than I do.
uh,
Now,
yeah,
if we're going to the actual plot, John and Tala team up, have fights over religion and destiny, all that. Slowly but surely fall in love because, of course, they do.
because
And
it's a movie.
yeah, and after I want to say 6 run-ins with the Sasquatch, eventually John takes up the bow and kills it.
Yeah,
Which, by the
because
way, is
that was
the
his destiny.
oh, okay. Can I say the CGI on that one is painful because the way the arrow comes out of the bow, it like pops a yard up
Yep.
immediately and then hits him. And by the way, the Sasquatch has been hit by this magical bow like 10 times before this, and
Yeah, just
apparently the one thing was it needed to be hit directly in the heart.
yeah, and that's the only way to kill it is to shoot it in the heart with the magic arrow.
At no point was this said out loud that it needed to
No,
be in the heart.
No, just until John shoots it. That's yeah,
Because Tala hits this thing, and it should be a kill shot by all rights, multiple times.
yeah. Like in the center of the chest, she keeps only shooting this thing basically.
Yeah, textbook shot. Like she does a good job.
Right.
And in the process, Tal is wounded. He prays to the Great Spirit or whatever. Was given a sign on what medicine to use, and ta-da! They both, go out and become hunters in the world for more Sasquatches. I'm assuming
Yeah,
it never really
because
specifies.
yeah, it okay. So apparently these like Sasquatches are I don't know, just like a thing this tribe deals with like a lot. So it doesn't matter that you kill like the one Sasquatch. I guess there will always be more Sasquatches.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. So it says in this movie the Sasquatches are a nature spirit, like a tsunami or something, which I think kind of falls apart as soon as you shoot it. And this one's been corrupted. Now, it could be that this is a suburban Sasquatch and it draws its power from the suburbs and everything, and that's why it's so weird.
Well, yeah, it's a specific suburban Sasquatch that also takes victims into a tarp cave.
Oh my god, I forgot about this. All right, once again, Kevin, I'm not apologizing for getting parts of this movie or getting in the wrong order. Frankly, I think this movie does that too. Um,
Yeah, well, I don't doubt that at all.
there is a literal cave they have to go into at one point to risk. Tala gets captured at one point along with another woman. What the Sasquatch is doing, I don't know. It's implied it's awful and terrible, but frankly, that could just be saving them as a food. We don't
Yeah,
know.
it could be something else, but we'll just pretend that's not the case.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's food, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Anyways, they go in, and the cave is literally just someone's, I'm assuming, bathroom covered in tarps
Well, do you know why that is?
because the budget was $12,000.
Bingo.
I could find a. I'm not gonna lie, Kevin. I am not like a big wilderness guy.
Yeah.
I'm betting I could find. In fact, I'm positive I know of something that could be used as a better cave within 30 minutes of where I'm standing.
To be fair, Ted, filming inside of there would be kind of difficult just because like getting the cameras and like the lighting and everything, and also that require a lot more effort.
Okay, Kevin. So this is look ignoring the movie's plot because frankly we've already put more effort into explaining it than it has.
Yeah, true.
Um, and frankly, I don't really know what else to say about it other than it's poorly written and the CGI is awful, and that's really where its value comes from.
Its main value is well, okay. So I did say this earlier, but I will bring up 3 points as to why this film is amazing.
Okay.
All right. Your 3 points were as follows: the suit, the CGI, and the writing.
Yes.
My 3 points are the suit, the CGI, and
CGI
the
and
writing.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
So the suit is amazing just because it looks like it looks like the worst thing I've ever seen. Um, the memory glands on that Sasquatch are just amazing. Uh, the CGI is also great, just because every time you see that Sasquatch like either lift up that car over its head and then throw it, and then the car's fine. Um, or you see like a CGI arrow shoot from the bow, and it's like 3 times bigger than the bow is, and goes into the Sasquatch. It's amazing, and the writing itself is great, mainly because the way the actors kind of say things sounds so robotic and wooden that I believe that this was written by like an alien named the Waskoviches, and it's really amazing. I love it so much.
All right. So, Kevin, I think this brings us to where we really differ on why I dislike this movie and why you love it. I maintain this was made to be bad on purpose, and it's just that sort of movie. You think it was meant like the guy was trying?
Yeah, that's where our key differences are. Yes,
Yeah. Okay, Kevin. One sec. Let me see if I can try to send you something. Kevin, you still hear me?
I can still hear you.
Okay. Darn, I cannot actually send it via Discord. One second. I'll send you a text message. So I did a little bit of digging, and I looked at his other movies.
Yeah,
And after seeing just a little bit of, like, the designs of Fungicide, one of his other movies about killer mushrooms,
right.
I cannot believe this was made to be good in any way, shape, or form, or at least attempt.
Okay,
Actually, Kevin, can you just look up a few of those for Fungicide and you can see it? Now, eventually you'll find someone badly sword fighting Mushroom Gandalf.
okay. let me.
It's like the first picture you see.
Oh, oh, oh. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, Dave Waskovich. 3 out of 10.
Yeah,
I wonder why.
Kevin, it's very clear. Like I thought it was Gandalf at first until I realized, like, oh no, that's a mushroom. I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I was like, no, there is no way this at all could be seriously made.
All
Like,
right.
no matter what restrictions you have, it is
Yeah.
possible to make something good.
I okay. So I disagree. Um. So my thing is this that there are some people out there like I would say if you're into bad films like kind of like we are I would say there's people out there like Neil Breen or people like Tommy Wiseau or people like that that have a kind of distorted view of what something looks like to them and will say that like okay this film is something I'm proud of and are completely legitimate with that
So I will agree with you. Like, I think Tommy Wiseau's film The Room, I think he did try there.
yeah.
There is clearly way more effort that went into The Room, though.
There's a lot more money that went into the room itself, like the cameras and everything else was
Oh yes,
it
I mean, I have several friends who have a fairly convincing theory that the entire shooting of The Room might have been some sort of money laundering endeavor.
I mean yeah I could believe that.
But I still maintain that there was so much more effort put into The Room that I can buy it was someone's attempt at a good movie.
I okay for this film itself there is like effort in there because doing your own CGI and doing all of that stuff just by yourself is harder than is harder than we're giving him credit for.
Oh, no, no, there's effort into it.
Yeah.
Effort in making it as bad as possible. That was the point.
If you wanted to make it as bad as possible, then you would just use like plugins. I don't think you would create your own CGI and do all that stuff when you could if you want to make something like just terrible, then I think the effort to make something terrible is low. If you want to try and make something like decent, the effort is like high. It's just
Yeah.
that you are incompetent.
No, I really feel like this guy went through a lot of effort to make it as bad as possible. Now, the fact that on his own website it says these are Z grade movies.
I mean, these were made back in like the 2000s, right?
Yeah, but it says independent Z grade movies. It that's what it is a their own his own sorry David Washkovitz's own film studio explicitly makes Z grade movies. Trouble Moon Films. Yep, definitely some troubles.
Yeah, definitely some troubles. Um, I don't know. If you're making like I would even say like low quality movies, then you're self aware to a certain extent, right? But at the same time, too, it's if you see like the commentary on this film, which you have not seen,
No, I did try to find
yeah.
commentary, but I try not to pirate things or anything, and I don't want to buy anything from this.
Oh,
Um, but Amazon Prime did have the normal movie. That's why I have watched it twice. I did my homework.
yeah. This is on Amazon Prime if you guys are interested in watching it. Which we'll get to our grading and recommendations after this, but um, so if you look at like the commentary, then he does not seem like he is acting. It seems like he is legitimately trying to say like, "Oh yeah, I made this film. I worked pretty hard on it. We did like the treatment, like like things that people who have done films, like he's seen commentaries before, and he's trying to make this look legitimate as possible. It's not like, oh yeah, I did this, and then like, look how crappy like the CGI looks. Yeah, it looks pretty bad. What a stupid film. Like it.
Okay, Kevin, but which one of those is funnier? Like, if I was going to do that, I would give a deadpan commentary about the inner meanings of this movie. Like, that is a funny thing to do.
That's contradictory to like the Z grade film thing, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a Z. If he's making a Z grade film, I mean, let's be honest, he wants to make a bad movie so bad it's funny. What's fun? The funniest thing you can do there is then give perfectly serious commentary.
Ah, I. I don't know. That's the film doesn't feel that self-aware though, where it's making like jokes. It's not like Sharknado, where that is very self-aware.
Yeah, I have not seen Sharknado, Kevin. That is like too far on the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Like I don't
As-
want to watch a movie that is it.
Asylum films.
Yeah, I don't want to watch a movie that is made to be bad. If I want to watch a bad movie, I want to watch a movie because it is bad to the point where it's funny and it's not intentional. The intentionality of this seems to ruin it for me.
Okay,
Completely
I
unrelated
understand
comment,
that.
there is a card game for Fungicide.
There's a card game.
Yeah, I'm on their website right now, I might buy the card game.
That is like the funniest thing I ever heard. Uh, I okay. So let's go into ratings here. Ted, out of I don't know how many suburbs do you give this film?
1 out of, mm, 7.
1 out of 7 suburbs. Okay. I give it a 6 out of 7 suburbs.
Oh, only a 6?
Only a 6 because there's some parts of the film that kind of drag on just a little bit.
Some.
Only some. Just like every time he goes to that editor's office, which is funny to me, but it happens like way too many times.
True. Yeah,
Uh,
no
yeah,
no, I don't know, Kevin, I feel like this was intentionally bad, I really do, I get that feeling. It's just not very tongue in cheek about it.
I would challenge our audience to watch the film and comment in like the YouTube video, whatever you are listening to this on, and try to see for yourself if you think that this is intentionally bad or if this was an honest effort from a man who is just really bad at filmmaking.
Yep, let us know. Yeah, I once again, I just cannot buy that this was an honest attempt at a good film.
I mean, yeah, that's where we're gonna differ on this, and that will also differ in whether or not you enjoy this film. If you can
Yeah,
buy if this film is something legitimate.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who, whether or not they think it's, legitimate or not, could enjoy this film. I mean, there's enough people who enjoy Sharknado that they made several of them.
True, true.
Huh. Yeah, Kevin, that's all I got on this one. People, if you wanna watch a bad movie, like this, grab your intoxicating substance that you preference and enjoy.
Yeah, and watch it with some people there just so you can see their reactions to one of the best Sasquatch films I have ever watched.
Yeah, and don't do what I do and watch them deadpan sober, very seriously with the Notebook in the morning.
Yeah, don't
Uh,
do that. Your enjoyment will be affected by those by those factors. Uh, okay. I just want to say thank you to everyone for listening, and thank you to one of my favorite sites that introduced me to this and YouTube channels that I recommend everyone watch out or watch. I mean, nah, not watch out, but watch Red Letter Media. They are a
oh, that's where you got this from.
I love Red Letter Media. They're one of my favorite film review kind of guys. You've watched them before, right?
I've only seen like one episode. I enjoyed it enough. I don't know why. I just haven't watched anymore. I'll be
I
going to. They were good.
Yeah, I deeply recommend it. They have so many good like episodes on different like movies, like Half in the Bag. Like they review like modern ish movies and Wheel of the Worst, all that kind of stuff. Um, I say thank you to them for introducing me to this amazing movie and making me making me forced Ted watch it too.
Yep, I'm sure you enjoyed that, Kevin.
I did. It's just like you were so out of it and so unhappy that it brought me a little bit of joy during these.
Kevin, I get to pick the game next week.
I know, and I'm very interested to see what it's going to be, and I'm sure the audience is as well. And that's something to look forward to for next week.
All right, everyone. And from our respective bunkers hiding on the apocalypse, I bid thee good night.
Good night, everybody.